Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to build an equestrian centre, somewhere where we can have a little bit of fun and race against our friends. So what I've done is I found a piece of land which is relatively flat, and I've taken out any lumps and bumps so we can have a big sand school or menage. And I have built the first stable, and it's 6 by 6 and it's 3 high plus a roof, and it's very simple. You can use any kind of building block that you want. What I've done is I've used walls, and the reason I've used walls and trapdoors is so that the horse can pop his head out over the door like that. Hello! And I've just put a couple of posts outside, somewhere to tie him up, and some trapdoors on the wall so it looks as if he's got the top doors that can close, and he seems very happy in that. And inside we've just got a hay bale, some water, some carpet on the floor that looks like straw and poo-poo patches. Yes. And just a window at the back. And depending on what walling you use and what trapdoors you use will depend on how you decorate the back wall. Now I've used deep slate for the roof, and I use deep slate for the next two as well, because I quite like deep slate. I think it looks nice. This one reminds me of a really British stable in maybe the Midlands or the North. Right, let's crack on and make some more. So here goes with the first one. So a simple 6 by 6 square, and I'm using cobblestone for the floor, a moss covered cobblestone to make it look more realistic. And near the centre I'll put in a light block, a sea lantern. You won't see this because it will be covered with carpet. And then I'm using the red netherstone walling. I like the colour of this. Prefer it to the darker one for the walls, and we come up 3 high. So we have a 2 block window at the back, and obviously you have your 2 by 2 door at the front. Then deep slate for the roof, yellow carpet with the odd bits of brown carpet dotted around. Our water trough, hay bale, and then our bars for the window at the back. And we're going to use cherry wood on this one. I think it goes nice with the red. Cherry wood doors and shutters, and cherry wood tie posts once I put the sign in. There we go. That's quite a nice colour. Would be nice in red brick as well. And for our third one, marine. I do like this because it changes colour, and you have got a cobblestone with this as well, so I can use that on the floor. There's our sea lantern for our light, and exactly the same we'll go for the blue wood on this. It blends in nicely. So just think about the materials that you use and what materials go with what materials, colour wise. The grey andesite walls would go really well with the cherry wood. They'd also go really well with the mangrove wood. Water trough, hay bale, poo patches. Yeah, that works. Doors, shutters, sign, tie posts, and then a stubborn horse. I had to speed this up because it took forever to get him in there. Oh, he was stubborn. And there we have it. The stable's built. And now for the sand school, the jumping arena. I'm going to use a little bit of coding to do this. So I want to mark out my corner like this. And then I'll go and stand on it and I'll stare right into the centre. Then what I'll do is I'll press F3 on my keyboard and it will bring up my coordinates, and I'm going to go to the XYZ coordinates and I'm going to write those coordinates down on a piece of paper because I'll need them when I get to the opposite corner. So my opposite corner is going to be over there. So let's whiz over here. How big do we want it? Do we want it quite large? We want it 1 block away from this wall here, or this bank. And we want to come back to about there. So, again, we're going to look at the centre of this block. Those are our coordinates for this corner. So we're doing opposite corners, so the other corner is over there. Now we're going to press /, stare at the centre of the block, press /, type in fill, space, and it will give you the coordinates of what you're staring at. So just click on that and it will bring those coordinates up. And then if you click on those coordinates again, then you simply have to just amend them because it will be near as you can get, really, and you just have to amend a couple of numbers to give you the coordinates of the other corner. Then type in Minecraft sand space replace. Always replace, because you don't want loads of blocks floating around, all the ground blocks floating around. Replace will simply take out what's already there and replace it with the sand. There we go. 1 sand school. Nice and simple. And I'm going to go around and build some walls. I'm going to have an in gate and an out gate. Whiz round and put the walls in, and then all we have to do is build the jumps. I prefer using walling sometimes instead of fencing. I think it looks a little bit more, I don't know, upmarket. Looks a bit posh. There we go. And now for the jumps. I'll show you how I build the first combination. We want 2 blocks wide, and everything's an experiment, so if it doesn't work, start again. I'm going to decorate these with piglins' heads, so I'm going to go for the terracotta pots and some cherry wood and the piglins' heads, because it all sort of blends in together. It looks really nice. And now I couldn't put my cherry leaves there because I'd already put the trapdoors up, so I had to take them down and replace them. So that's the first jump. Like I said, everything's a work in progress. You might want to change it or something later. But I'm happy with that, and I'm going to do a combination of 3 down this side. So I want them all to be in a line, and I want enough space in between the jumps for you to land and then be able to take off again. And I'm going to put some pink coral in there because that's quite nice, a little bit of blue water with the pink. We'll put some gates in. We'll do our little fence posts on top of the pots again with our piglin heads so that it all blends in together. And now for our 3rd jump, we'll use our cherry leaves again. And we'll make this more of a spread, more of a wider jump. There we go. So we'll put our gate there, our trapdoors there, just got to put our piglin heads on. If you slightly face the corners with the piglin's heads, they'll go on at an angle. They won't go on straight, so it looks as if they're looking at you going over the jump. So I think we'll take that down so that we've got a low jump, then we've got a water jump, and then we've got a big high jump at the end. Oops. There we go. So that looks nice, doesn't it? It all sort of blends in together, all the colours. So basically what you want to do is to choose a colour palette and create jumps around that colour palette and go all the way around like I have and make loads of really colourful jumps. So let's go around and see what we've got. Start at the beginning, so we come in this gate here and then we follow the arrows around, and I've used lodestones here, and these flowers blend in really nice with the amethyst, and the copper goes well as well, and with the rods it looks as if they're poles, as if they're jumping poles. I think that looks really nice. And you have to jump right over it, otherwise you get hit with the crystals on the other side, see? And then we've got our combination that we built together. And then over the next one with the water in and the coral. And then the last one, which is a much bigger jump. That looks really nice. Then we put a water jump in, and I've used gates here so that if you get trapped in the middle of the water jump you can open the gates and get out. I've used the prismarine here because it's a water jump, and some blue coral in the middle to decorate it. The colours work well. There we go, we can escape if we get trapped. And this is a more rustic jump, and I think the eyes blend in well on the dragons there. Oh shush Poppy. And now we go for a mushroom jump, and I've used the nether skeleton heads to decorate this. That's rather good. And then with the arrows we've got a choice of directions that we can go in. We can come over the melon jump with the barrels and the creeper heads, and then when we get over here we can either go back over the mushroom jump and then over the reading jump, or we can go directly over the reading jump. It gets all a bit confusing at the end here. So, and here's the reading jump. We've got the lecterns and we've got the bookshelves. So we could do the mushroom jump and then the reading jump afterwards if you wanted to double up. So there's our jumping course. And then when I'd finished building this, I went and built the cross-country course. Now cross-country courses are a lot more rustic. This is the end here with our checkered flag, and our beginning is with the yellow and green checkered flag. And I've used a mangrove wood because I quite like it. It goes with a lot of woods. So we've got a small jump here because cross-country jumps are usually a lot more solid, so you don't want them to be too big. And then we've got more of a spread type jump here, some trapdoors, and then the last of our combination there with a little trapdoor jump. And then we swap it up here, more of a brush type jump, and this is my favourite. I like this with the pumpkin heads and the bamboo trapdoors, and it takes you up a step, so that's really cool. And then I've duplicated it here, and I've made this one 3 wide because it's on a corner and you might not quite make the corner, so I made it a bit wider to make it a bit easier. And again, it takes you up a step, and then we come to the lectern reading jumps, and that takes you down a step, and then you go along the flat, down a step, and then up 2. See how I've tried to blend the jumps into the terrain so that you're up and down. Now this will drop you down into the water jump. So it's like a derby bank, so you go over 1 block but you drop down 3. And then through the water, over the railway. That's really cool, eh? I like that. I put mud there because you're coming out of water. And then over the small jump, which takes you over the path, and at the finish. Yay! So all you need now is a stopwatch and a load of friends, and you can find these and download them on Planet Minecraft and on Minecraft Schematics. And hopefully I'll see you all back here again soon. Take care, and do please like and subscribe. Bye bye!